You know, when you look at your life sometimes and you think to yourself, you know what? On paper, I have everything I've ever wanted. So why do I feel so flat, numb, empty? And you still scroll, you still buy things, you still chase goals, you get little bursts of, oh, this is nice. New message, a new purchase, a win at work. But the highs are shorter, the crashes are significantly longer. And more and more and more of life feels like you're watching it from behind a glass. And most of us have the same reaction. If I can't feel happy with all this, something is wrong with me. I must be ungrateful. I must be dramatic. Maybe I'm just broken. And you don't say it out loud, but it's sitting there. You see other people posting, so grateful, so blessed, and you're thinking, I have more than them, yet I'm sitting here feeling numb. What is wrong with me? Before you stamp I'm defective on your forehead, there might be another explanation that we need to talk about. What if a big chunk of this nothing feels good thing isn't a personality problem? What if it's a dopamine problem? This is Toxic Physiology. Hi, today we are going to be discussing what is happening in our brains to make us feel so empty and so numb. We're going to be discussing dopamine because that has quite a significant role in making you feel this way. So let's make this simple. I want you to think of dopamine as your brain's highlighter. This matters marker, okay? It doesn't fire for everything. It fires harder when something feels new, surprising, maybe rewarding. So imagine your typical day. You wake up, you check your phone, messages, notification, maybe a funny clip. Tiny little dopamine pop-ups during the day. On the way to work or uni or whatever, you listen to a podcast, music, more scrolling. At your desk, you've got emails, chats, maybe a quick scroll in between. And then at lunchtime, you check your phone. Evenings, Netflix on, phones out at the same time. None of that makes you feel amazing, but it keeps your brain getting little unpredictable hits all day. To your brain, that's a very specific training program. Frequent, fast, maybe this next one will be good rewards. Your brain goes, oh, okay, so this is what we do now. We light up for spikes and we ignore the rest. But over time, it turns the rest down. So the big, fast stuff still cuts through the drama, the big news, the intense scenes, the arguments, the plot twist. But normal life, a quiet walk, a boring task, a slow conversation, a regular meal, barely registers. You see, you haven't lost your ability to feel. Your system has just been taught that it needs more to feel anything at all. A dopamine system that's been trained on spikes will eventually make normal life feel like nothing. And that's not you being ungrateful. No, that's your brain doing what it's been trained to do. Here's the annoying part. Your brain feels this flatness, but it doesn't tell you, hi, this is chronic dopamine overstimulation. It gives you much simpler headlines. It says, you're not trying hard enough. You're never satisfied. You ruin everything, because it's easier to believe that you are the problem than to question your entire environment. So you sit there thinking, I have a good life. Why don't I feel it? Maybe I'm just a bad, ungrateful person. When actually a lot of what you're feeling is just your nervous system showing you what it has been taught to expect. You might be thinking, okay, but other people seem fine. Why does this hit me so hard? Well, reason is because we don't all start from the same baseline. If you grew up always on edge, shouting in the house, unpredictable moods, never fully relaxed, your system already learnt to live on high alert. So when you add modern stimulation on top of that, your normal is already running hot. Or maybe you grew up with not much joy, not much safety, not much affection. So now every tiny nice thing, likes, messages, shopping, food, someone noticing you, lands a bit harder. Your brain goes, finally, something good, and it clings on. So the same phone, the same apps, the same lifestyle might feel a bit much to one person and absolutely draining to someone else. You're not weaker, you just have a different history sitting under the same environment. So why do you keep doing the things that make it worse? You feel flat, so you reach for something to unflatten you. You scroll, you binge, you open 3 apps for no reason. You get a tiny lift, then you drop. So here you go again. From the outside, it looks like, why do I keep doing this to myself? But from the inside, it's completely logical. Your brain has been taught that only spikes count. So of course, you keep looking for spikes. Of course, you keep switching apps. Of course, you find it hard to sit in silence. Of course, a slow task feels unbearable. You keep scrolling because nothing really lands. You keep chasing because arrival feels fake. You keep switching because depth feels heavy. That's not you being pathetic. That's your training running on autopilot. So I want you to zoom out. Let's zoom out for a second, because this is where most people stop. I'm addicted to my phone. I have no discipline. As if you just woke up one day and decided to fry your own brain. That doesn't happen that way. I want you to look around at the world you're living in. We'll start talking about apps, but there's loads of other things that you can use as an example. Apps are designed to keep you there, not just show you nice things. They're literally designed, tested, tweaked to grab your attention and not let go. Workplaces, they quietly reward the people who are always reachable, always on, always just checking their messages. In fact, it's really annoying. Rest is branded as lazy. Boredom is failure. Silence is awkward. If you put any normal human in that setup for long enough, the nervous system will start to look a lot like yours. So this isn't about weak people. It's what happens to predictable human brains in a very specific kind of zoo. So who benefits from this? None of this is by accident. Your attention is worth money. In fact, there's something called the attention economy. The more you scroll, the more you click, the more you buy, the more valuable you are to someone else. So if you feel constantly restless, slightly empty, and always one step away from maybe the next thing will help, you're extremely profitable. You are. That sounds dramatic, but it's true. When your attention is scattered and your baseline never settles, you're easier to keep online. You're easier to sell to. You're easier to nudge. You're easier to manipulate. You're easier to propagandize. So when you feel like you're failing, it's worth asking, am I actually failing? Or is the system around me doing exactly what it was built to do? You're not failing the system. The system is succeeding. So why does the system keep pushing? Think about incentives. I always want you guys to think about the incentives, okay? If an app or a platform or a business makes more money when you stay longer, click more, feel a tiny bit unsatisfied, then what kind of design do you think it will evolve towards? Is it one that lets you feel complete and done? Or one that feels almost satisfying, just enough to keep you there, but not enough to let you leave? And from their side, this isn't evil mastermind stuff. No, it's just what keeps people here. Do more of that. From your side, it feels like, I don't know why I can't stop. I don't know why nothing feels enough. You didn't lose your ability to feel. Your system was trained to need more to feel anything at all. So what's actually going on? Let's pull this together. You feel flat, you blame yourself. Underneath that, you've got a dopamine system that's been living on spikes. So normal life feels muted. You live in an environment that constantly hands you more spikes. And you exist inside systems that make more money the more you chase them. So you end up with a brain trained on intensity, a mind that calls that personal failure, and a lifestyle that keeps feeding the cycle. And on top of that, add a culture that normalizes all of it. No wonder nothing feels good anymore. By the way, this general pattern is not new. No. We saw it with the slot machines. We saw it with cheap credit and shopping. We saw it with sugar, alcohol, all the classic vices. Each time something new came along that could hijack the same ancient reward circuits. At the start, it looks like fun, like freedom. I can gamble whenever I want. I can buy now, pay later. I can eat this whenever. Then slowly, for more and more people, normal life starts to feel grey in comparison. The tech changes, the pattern doesn't. So what are we actually chasing? Are we actually looking for a good life, or just stronger and shorter hits to avoid sitting with how we really feel? If your body has been trained to think intense equals alive, then small joys feel boring, consistency feels dead, real rest feels wrong. At some point, the pursuit of more can quietly become an inability to feel anything deeply at all. And if you never stop long enough to notice that, you just assume this is my personality now. From an Islamic perspective, this isn't just a psychology problem. It's a heart problem. We believe that you're responsible for what you let shape you day after day. Not every I want is worth feeding. Not everyone does this is safe to copy. We believe that dunya, so the worldly life, will always offer you quick hits. Scroll, snack, spend, repeat. But your qalb, your heart, isn't meant to respond to cheap highs. I want you to pay attention to this. What you repeatedly chase becomes what you quietly worship. That's not metaphor, that's direction. And what Islam does is it gives you the boundaries. It gives you that time out with prayer. It gives you the time out with food, with fast. And some people find that this is restrictive, but actually it's retraining, it's refocusing, it's recalibrating that system. Because what you repeatedly chase becomes what you quietly worship. You see people chasing relationships that are not good for them. Why? They're chasing that high. They're chasing the approval. You see people chasing jobs that are not good for them. People are chasing money. People are chasing power. People are chasing material things. And then nothing seems good enough anymore for them. But what you need to realize is what you repeatedly chase becomes what you quietly worship. So, what next? Now, I'm not going to say throw your phone in the river or move to a cabin and grow tomatoes and, you still have a life. You're still in this world. Escaping is not going to be a solution here. What we need to do is retrain. We need to retrain how our system responds. Remember, this is a pattern, and patterns can be retrained. So the goal isn't to escape it, but to retrain how your system responds. In simple terms, we need to figure out how to lower the spikes. We need to rebuild our baseline and reteach our brain what actually matters. And what does that look like in real life? Well, number one, put boundaries on the high dopamine stuff. You don't have to never scroll, but you can stop scrolling whenever your phone or the app decides for you. So you set times, set limits. Close the tab when you said you would, even if you don't feel done. You're teaching your brain rewards have boundaries now. Second thing, add small pockets of boring. It's good to be bored. Add small, boring, good things back into your life. Walk without headphones. You don't have to be listening to something all the time. 10 minutes. Eat without a screen for one meal. See what happens. Have one genuinely present conversation for a day. Speak to someone without being on your phone. Now, at first, these will feel underwhelming. They'll feel so boring, okay? They'll feel boring. But keep going. Keep going. Because them feeling underwhelming, that's telling you that your baseline needs work. 3, let your body help your brain. When you're wired and jittery, instead of just spinning in place, go for a short walk, stretch, breathe with your body, not just in your head. When you're heavy and stuck and you don't want to feel motivated, stand up, change rooms, do the smallest possible thing, stretch. You're using movement to tell your nervous system, we are not trapped. 4, treat sleep, food, and real rest as non-negotiable. It's not about self-care. No. This is basic signaling. Remember, if your body doesn't feel safe, your dopamine system will keep chasing spikes. Your body only understands whether you're safe or you're not safe. If you're safe, it can repair. So we need our bodies to feel safe so that we stop chasing spikes. Regular meals, some real sleep, moments of actual off time with no input. And these are boring. They are very dull. But it will help you build a new baseline out of it. And it will feel uncomfortable at first because you're retraining a system that's used to intensity. Okay, so you're not detoxing dopamine. No, you're putting dopamine back in service of the kind of life that you actually want. Remember, we've got the same dopamine, different pathway, different behaviors, but one environment. And this one environment is training all of them at the same time. Hijack reward, hijack focus, hijack movements, hijack hormones. They're all nudging you towards a life where you are always chasing and rarely arriving. Nothing feels good anymore cannot be the final verdict of your character because it's a signal. It's just a signal that your system has been trained this way. And that means that it's not beyond repair. Anyways, that's all I have to say today.